Hello Enid, I'm Derrick Silas, the Director of Communications for the City of Enid. Today we're going to have the city update, and today with me is the City Manager Jerald Gilbert. Thank you for coming.
Well, thank you. Good afternoon, Enid. It's great to be here again.
Let's talk about some of the hot topics, I guess, for this week. Let's talk about the 4th of July is coming up. Let's talk about the quality of life issues. What's going on? Celebration, July 4th celebration.
Hey, 4th of July is probably the number one thing. It's a holiday. It's a national holiday. Has been since a long time, since about 1776. So I know this has been an unusual year for us with COVID and many other things. We are still on for the 4th of July celebration. We have a fireworks show, the symphony in the park, and we have a fishing derby. And so we believe that we can do it and are doing it responsibly. It's out in the park, Meadow Lake Park, as people can remember. In fact, you don't even have to be in the park to see the fireworks show. You can set up around there or park in your car and watch if you'd like. If you do come to the park, bring your lawn chair and just spread out. And I think it'll be a good show. The symphony, as always, will be playing. And the fishing derby, you got to get up early. 5:30, I think, is when it starts and runs till about 11:30. You've got to register in advance. That's so we'll get an idea how many people are coming, and that can help with the spacing and the social distancing. So we're excited to offer that again this year for people, and I hope that gives them a break from the daily challenges that we have, particularly in this COVID environment.
Mm-hmm. We'll also have some closings for this, because it's July 4th week.
Yes.
The 4th, though, the solid waste will continue their Friday route. I know they're going to do that. We sent out a press release about that this week. So the only thing there's nothing really going to change this week.
Right.
As usual. Usually they'll change to Monday, but they decided to just go ahead and work that Friday.
Right.
So
right.
That'll be good. But the City Hall offices will be closed Friday.
City
correct?
offices will be closed, but some of those things like you mentioned, solid waste in the landfill, essential services here in town, they'll still be open.
But I think landfill has switched, according to press release, they're going to switch to being off on the Saturday.
Yes. So golf will be open too if you want to go golf until about 5 o'clock, and then it closes for the 4th. So
very good. Okay. Any road closures we need to talk about this week?
I don't know if there's any new road closures. Certainly we've got a lot of stuff going on. One of the things I want to point out is the water line repairs over on Maple Street are complete, and that's a precursor to improving that road. That's the road between the two big buildings, the Triangle Building and the Independence Tower North, so I'm excited about that. I do know that there's some other concrete repairs in town. One of them was Hoover in West Oklahoma. It is open now. I saw it yesterday and drove by it. It's wonderful. It's just, again, they're small things, but they're small improvements that make a big difference. So those are some of the things. I noted, again, driving Cleveland and in the Chestnut area again, that's a very nice improvement for the city. It's been open for a while now, but it's certainly a very nice area, and we're working to improve that north of the railroad tracks. So those are the primary things going on. When you do see cones, I know it can be frustrating, but just remember that's a sign of progress.
Right. Now, last week we also sent out an announcement about the Walk of Fame. We have that usually in September. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yes, the Walk of Fame is something that has been going for quite a while with the city to honor people who have made significant contributions to the city or significant outstanding public displays of generosity and or leadership in the community. The mayor and a couple of commissioners determine who is honored with this award every year. There's typically one given to someone who's living and one that's posthumously awarded. And so I believe we're taking applications until the 15th. So please get those in. I know there's many, 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 many worthy people in the city of Enid who haven't been or haven't had the opportunity to have their contributions recognized. I think we've recognized something like 40 plus Walk of Fame folks, and we'll do at least 2 more this year or whatever the committee comes up with. So please get those applications in. There's not really a set format. You just need to put something down in writing and justify why somebody deserves that award. So we look forward to continuing to give that in September on the day of the parade and the Cherokee Strip Days.
Yes. Okay. Very good. Can you give us an update of anything that's going on in economic development?
Yeah, you bet. Economic development is always an interesting thing for the city. The city's one of the things that we work on is trying to bring more business here, whether it's manufacturing businesses with jobs or even just retail, and not even so much for the jobs, but for the variety and the quality of life. I do know that the city works very closely with the Enid Regional Development Alliance and Lisa Powell and her team, as well as the Chamber and Main Street and other organizations, Visit Enid. And we work together as a team to try and bring those places here. One of the things that is frequently asked is, what is the city doing about the mall? Because we've seen several closures like JCPenney's, and I can tell you that I've been on at least one phone call, and I know the ERDA, and Lisa is working with the owner of the mall to try and get him to make some investment there that the city would be willing to potentially help with at some point, but it would have to be something that fills gaps right now. I think everybody knows in town clothing is a big gap, whether it's men's or women's clothing, so certainly that's an area being looked at. The district development, you can see that transforming daily as the roads get poured. The water lines have already been put in. I know plans are in for the Colton Steakhouse. I know that there's still plans to have a hideaway restaurant there. The city is still working. In fact, we have weekly update meetings with the developer of the movie theater, and we are working to finalize that legal agreement to bring it back to the commission, who's already approved the general terms of the agreement. So that'll be an exciting thing when that can get approved and announced. Those are some of the really big things that are going on. I know that there's efforts to try and fill in at the old Kmart building and some other buildings in town. There's an effort to work closely with the developers and the realtors in town to help fill up spaces. So that's really what's going on right now. Nothing specific to announce, but economic development takes time and a lot of effort. And sometimes when we have those great big announcements, it's wonderful and it looks great, but it takes sometimes years of effort to get those announcements.
Yeah. So thank you for that. Now, lately, I know the Enid Communications Department has did a lot of help with the streaming for there was a candidate forum hosted by the NAACP at the Stride Bank Center on June 23rd, and we helped in the Facebook Live effort. And then a platform was for the state, Senate, and House candidates. We aided in that. Anything else going on in that area? I know that it's time to vote on June 30th.
Hey, it's going to rain.
It sounds like it. Yes, it's gonna.
Yes, that's a good point. The city is very interested in helping to support forums or debates with candidates so that candidates can highlight what they want to and allow the residents here to make informed choices. And so that's what we've done with the Sheriff's Forum and the District 19 and House 40 Forum. The Sheriff's Forum turned out, I believe, pretty nicely. Lanita Norwood, NAACP president, and some others helped organize that. And again, we helped support it. I appreciate Kevin Brisky and his team, and you and your team with the technology supporting that. And we'll do that for any event. We're almost done with this campaign, but for the general election and beyond, our forum for the 4 candidates in 40 and 19, I'm not sure it turned out exactly the way everybody or some folks wanted, but we certainly tried to support that. It turned out to be a 5-minute presentation type format, and I appreciate all the candidates for participating in that. And the reason the city does that, the city doesn't take positions on candidates, and we don't take positions. We don't put ourselves out there as Republican or Democrat. We just try to help facilitate getting information out to everybody so they can vote. And on that note, it's time to vote, right?
Yes, June 30th.
That's right. It's almost, actually early voting's been going.
Yeah.
I haven't voted yet, but I intend to do that tomorrow, and that's the normal polling day. I think all the precincts are open, 7 to 7. There's one exception that Michael Frisbee, the election board, has told us. One of the precincts, I think it's 103, got combined with one of the precincts that's always at Champion Gym. But please get up and vote tomorrow and take time off. Most employers allow time off. The city of Enid allows employees up to 2 hours to go and vote. So 7 to 7, please vote. And if there is a runoff in any of the races, which I guess the sheriff's race might be a possibility, we will certainly look as the city to help support another forum or debate if somebody wants to put that on. So.
Yeah. Thank you.
Not us, right?
Right, no. Okay. Any other updates you have for us? I know we're going to have a commission meetings, but that's 2 weeks from now. And
yeah, we've got a commission meeting. It's actually a week from tomorrow now, but we did have an extra. It'll be 3 weeks from the last meeting. Let's see, we had June 20. Heck, I've lost track of time. Sometime last week or the week before we had the meeting. We got another one coming up. Things on the study session right now are trail signage. I know that Scott Morris and his team will be showing a prototype sign that looks kind of like the wayfinding signage. It's easy to fabricate and easy to maintain. I think that's exciting. Chief O'Rourke's going to have somebody talking about the transition from animal control to animal welfare. I know the public has heard about that maybe a little bit. There's been at least one story in the newspaper, and we think that's a nice transition. We run a shelter where we work very hard to make sure every pet that's adoptable gets adopted. So there'll be some discussion about that, and we may add a thing or two because that probably won't take an hour and 15. Our regular meeting has some rezonings and some other business. We have some board appointments. We'll be looking to recognize some employees of the month, and then we have some of the usual consent items, which are contractual things. So we'll know more. We'll probably update more on that next Monday. We'll post an agenda on Thursday because most city employees are going to be off. You've mentioned some will be working to provide services for the public, but most of us will be off on Friday.
Okay. Now, I know we've been still picking up the trash, the debris from the storm. Most people may not know the schedule. Let's talk about what quadrant. I know the city is divided into 4 quadrants more so, with Van Buren and O&K Garrett as a plus sign. Can you explain what quadrant we'll be doing next and what we have done?
I believe we're going to the southwest quadrant next, which, as Derrick said, we delineate Garrett and Van Buren essentially. We've been focused between Garrett and Chestnut on both sides of Van Buren for quite a while because we think that's where the majority of the storm damage was. I do understand there's a lot of limbs and piles in northwest Enid, and southwest and southeast Enid we still need to get to as well. So thank you for the patience you have. We're getting around as fast as we can. I know I've seen progress in some neighborhoods, but I realize I just got a text today and some pictures of some brush that's been there for a while, I believe in Willow West. So I know we're going to get there. Just bear with us. Thank you for your patience. We'll get there. There was a lot of storm damage.
Okay. Anything else you need to add? I think that's all the questions I have for you today.
No, I just appreciate the communications team and what you guys do, bringing these updates and getting the information out to the public, supporting the forums for the sheriff and the other district and House race. You guys do a wonderful job. I want to say I appreciate the effort of city employees as they do their jobs. Many times, we don't thank them enough. But I always tell them one of the things that makes people really happy is when they turn their water on, they get good clean water. When they flush their toilet, the waste goes away. And when they put their trash at the curb, we pick it up and haul it off. And we're pretty good at that. We're not perfect, so I appreciate people's patience, and we're working to get better all the time. And together with the residents, we look forward to many, many, many more years of working to improve and make Enid a wonderful place for us and for our children, and on and on. So thank you for the few moments here talking about the city management update.
Thank you. And thank you for joining us every Monday at 1:30 for an update. Join us next week for another update, and have a good day.